Welcome back to Waxhead Radio. Sean, how's it going?
It's going, man. Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah, on the back patio today. Studio situation didn't work out, so we're on the patio.
Yeah, it's a good gig on the patio. Hey, a drink.
Yeah, let's have a drink. What are we pouring, Sean?
I mean, no time like the present. Let's pour some cured oak.
All right.
This is a 2026. This is not the OG. This is the newest expression. So this is the newest expression of the cured oak. It's the 10-year. It's not the OG, not the 17-year. Still some pretty good whiskey. But it seems to be a trend these days that distilleries with a glut of whiskey that is now coming of age, and when I say of age, I typically mean around 10 years old, where they're recreating some things of yesteryear that don't really have the same punch of yesteryear, and I think it's a little bit disingenuous. Example, the first really, really clear example of this was the King Kentucky small batch, right? All three of those batches were, well, as a friend of mine used to say, or probably still says, it ain't its daddy. That's not the 16-year. It's not the 17-year. And people ask me, well, Sean, why didn't you like it? What is it missing? I said, I don't know, 4 years and 20 proof? What else would it be missing?
Yeah, it was nothing like the original. Like, it was a totally different whiskey. Small batch instead of single barrel.
107 to 112 or so proof, as opposed to anywhere from $1.25 to wherever it topped out. I'm not really sure. But certainly a fundamental difference in the whiskey with the same label, the same branding, and in some cases, Jason, the same expectation. And that's the part that kind of gets me. The E.H. Taylor 4 gram was very similar. It was 10 years old as opposed to 15, which is what the OG was. And the cured oak, the OG, was 17 years old. This one is 10. And it seems to be a trend that's moving forward now. It looks like Brown-Forman put out a King Kentucky small batch 14-year recently. And honestly, right off the top, right now, I'm skeptical about it because of the weakness, the fugazi nature of the 12-year small batch. I'm not excited, and I'm certainly not excited to pay $300 for it.
No, those 3 batches were so underwhelming. Like, why? Why fucking do it?
Unsure. Well, I am relatively sure why.
They have a lot of whiskey. They got to find a way to get rid of it now. But you're fucking up those limited releases, the reputation they have. Because, like, when those released here, we were all after them. We were super excited that King Kentucky was coming to Colorado until we tasted them. And now they sit on fucking shelves.
Yeah, and even at a more reasonable price, even at $189, I still think I pass. I think at $150, I think I might be a little bit more comfortable with batch 2 and 3 of the King Kentucky.
I don't think I'd buy it for even that.
It's fair.
Now that I've tasted it. Yeah. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, maybe what I'm actually saying is I wish I would have paid $150 for it.
That's probably what you're saying.
At the end of the day, it was super underwhelming. So I really hope, beyond hope, that at some point, some of that whiskey that they put down ends up trending in the positive direction. Something like, hey, Jim Beam, you're shutting down for the rest of the year. Why don't you let that whiskey sit around for a while and bring back them 13, 14, 15 years barrel picks? I think that would be an example of being a good steward to the game, especially when things are kind of in a lull. You have the you have the time. Why release it if nobody's going to buy it? Let it sit, let it relax, let it age, and let's talk in 2-3 years. Now, I understand that's easy for me to say from your back patio as opposed to having some skin in the game, but as far as a long-term strategy is concerned, I think that especially today when these distilleries are owned by huge corporations who have the money to burn, let the whiskey sit. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, these limited releases used to mean something, and I like that they're putting out limited releases, but don't put out King of Kentucky and 4-grain and cured oak if that's not what it is. Like, put out a different limited release. Like, we talked about Makers and their limited releases last week. Do what they're doing. Like, do something different, something new. Come up with a new limited release instead of putting dog shit and cellar aged, which I feel is like what other distillers are doing.
Well, I
And
mean,
Makers isn't.
to me, it kind of reeks of peaking at the right time, right? When Makers was in their Hitch era doing some of this, everybody else was trying to reinvent the wheel, right? They were putting out a bunch of limiteds. They were doing the most. You know, that's when King Kentucky came out. That's when a lot of these other premium allocated releases came out. While Makers is just like, we're good. We just launched our single barrel program. It's cool. And then, while whiskey had started to take a turn for the worse, everybody else had all this whiskey, and Makers is like, yeah, but ours has been sitting around. We got the oil. So now we're about to unleash the hounds. And I don't know how that's working for them from a business perspective, but I can tell you that as a consumer and certainly as a, God, I'm going to say this word out loud. I can't fucking believe it. As a connoisseur of premium spirits, I think
Loser.
that I think that and you can tell from the tone of these two episodes, I think that I'm gravitating that way for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that.
Yeah, cheers, brother. Good to see you.
You too.
It's been a while. Been a week and a half. I mean, we live an hour and a half away, so it's not as easy as it used to be.
So, not to get in an official review or anything.
Yeah, whatever.
But it's still good. I like it. It's not what I signed up for.
Agreed. And everybody's been really busting my chops because everybody that knows me well knows that cured oak is still in my top 3 pours of all time. So, of course, everybody whipped their eye at me when it was time to look at this one. And I did pull some favors and make sure that I had a bottle. And don't get it too confused. It is good. It's cured oak. They seasoned the staves. They put them down. They did this. They followed the same process, I believe. I can't confirm that.
So no, I believe they did. Yeah.
Don't take my word as fact, but I think they followed the same process, and they got the same result. Minus 7 years. There's no substitute for time. One of my favorite beers is from a brewery in St. Louis called Side Project, and it's called Beer Barrel Time. Very simple equation. That's how you make good beer. You take good stout, you put it in a barrel, and then you fucking wait. And if you have to wait for 3 years, in the words of the clips, so be it. And that's what Buffalo Trace is simply not doing with this, with the 4-grain. And I don't understand. Well, I guess I understand why, but I think they do the whiskey and the legacy of the whiskey a disservice by pulling it this early. 14, you can make an argument there. Okay. But at 10, I think there's not enough pop in this bat. It's really good. I'm so happy I have a bottle. I'm so lucky to have people that hooked me up and made sure that I got one. But at the end of the day, it ain't its daddy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's just a business move. They have the customers right now because they can sell way more of this cured oak than they did the last one. Even though the last one was way better, older, but there's more customers right now,
And there's more yield at 10 years.
more yield, and they know they can sell more. And they don't know what's it's gonna look like in just a year or two, because everyone's worried about, the whiskey market. So might as well slap the name on it and sell a shit ton of whiskey now.
I agree. And there's going to be a subset of people who would take this opinion and say, Jesus Christ, Sean, you're sitting on a back patio drinking a cured oak, and here you are bitching. And that's true. That is absolutely true. But at the end of the day, what I look at is where's the legacy? And I'm not going to go on a tangent about this. I swear I'm not. But the cheesy gold foil is the same thing. I'm not even going to say what I think about it. All I'm going to say is that the goal was not to make good whiskey. Okay. The goal was to make a legacy product that was similar to the cheesy gold foils of the 80s. And that is the barometer that whiskey should be tested against. And if it doesn't live up to that, then you failed. Even if the whiskey's good, you failed. And I think that's where I am with the cured oak, with the 4-grain. Man, them bottles are good. Man, I'm not unhappy that I have them. But man, I wish they were OGs.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to talk trash about the people making the whiskey.
I am. Probably.
Because they might love it. They might think that it was ready to go. But I feel like it's all money grabs, especially cheesy gold foil, because they know they're going to sell it. Like, we have extra whiskey. Let's do this so we can sell it. Not let's put out the best product we can. That's not what it feels like. So it doesn't feel like let's put out the best whiskey we can.
In the case of the cheesy gold foil, it's 16 years old. So there's no, oh, well, they pulled it too early. Man, it's 16 years old. No excuses. So, if it doesn't hit the way that you wanted it to, that's on you.
Yeah. So I hope it was, man, this whiskey is freaking delicious. We need to get it to the people. What's a clever way of doing it? I hope that was the thought process and not what can we do to sell this?
I don't believe, and at least in the case of the cheesy gold foil, I don't believe that was the idea. I've talked to Bruce enough to understand where his priorities are, and that's not it. I'm not best friends with the guy, but I've talked to him a handful of times, and I do know that legacy is important to him. So I don't think that it was a money grab. I don't think that was the motivation, and I'll never believe that. If anybody did allege that, I would shoot that down pretty quickly. But again,
is it always
the bar was high?
All up to those people, though. The fact that they're all owned by giant corporations.
I won't talk about some of the conversations I've had to that effect, because I think that would do the people that I had those conversations with a disservice. But yeah, that's in play.
Yeah. But I think like Wild Turkey isn't the usual suspect when we talk about money grabs and things like that.
No, there's some other things that they do poorly, but the whiskey is typically not one of them. There's a couple other tangents that I'll get on about this, that, and the other that I won't do today. But overall, no, I don't believe that is their goal. Typically. So, what else you know? Anything?
Yeah. Well, on the conversation of new releases, I did find one that I wanted to talk about. So this just came up, brand new release. I think it released yesterday.
Okay.
So Bardstown,
I like-
Victoria, pineapple barrel finish.
Wait, what? And when you started talking, I heard Bardstown. I said, uh-huh. I heard Victoria. I go, I don't understand, but okay. And then you said a word that didn't make sense. Were you speaking English? Because I thought, I could have swore, I can't be sure, but I'm pretty sure I heard you say pineapple.
Pineapple barrel finish.
You can't be fucking serious.
Which I don't really know what that means, and I'm going to tell you what it means, and I still don't understand it.
All right, hit me.
So it's a blend of 10 and 11-year-old bourbon.
That's a decent start.
And 11-year-old rye.
That's a decent start.
Blended together. Finished in 27 months in Caribbean rum barrels.
Was that after the 10 and 11 years, or was that?
That was after the 10 and 11 years.
So it's actually been aging total aggregate.
Well, I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I don't have that information.
I think that makes a difference.
But hold your horses. While it was sitting in rum barrels, they took a bunch of pineapples and threw them in.
There's a song by Alice in Chains called Frogs. And in the chorus of this song, Lane Staley, in the most miserable voice I've ever heard in my entire life, wails, "Why does it have to be this way?" over and over again. And Jason, that's how I feel about what you just said.
Why? 10-year-old, 11-year-old, let's just say 11-year-old bourbon and 11-year-old rye. Okay, we have some extra. Let's say we do. Get it to the fucking people. Why are we putting pineapples in it?
Yeah, the people want that.
I'll buy 11-year-old boo rye, whatever you want to call it, from Bardstown. I'll try it. Why are you dumping pineapples, like fresh pineapples, in a barrel of whiskey?
I mean, look, if we're making pizza, fine. But we're not making pizza, we're making fucking whiskey. Why do I have to sound like Dennis Leary when I talk about this?
That was just like intentional rage bait.
The Cleveland accent
Because
comes
what goes
out.
with pineapple best? Pizza.
No, it's definitely whiskey.
It's neither.
Jesus. You settle down. You leave my pineapple alone.
That's sacrilege.
There's so many jokes in here. I'm not going to make any of them. But,
hey,
I'm actually.
when I do your pineapple,
I'm a whiskey away from making that joke. But at the end of the day, like, I think that the most telling thing and the most disappointing thing is Bardstown has 10 and 11-year-old juice now. That's the thing that I think got lost in this fucking fucked up conversation, is that I don't think I've ever tried a 10 or 11-year-old Bardstown standalone, and I bet that shit's good.
yeah.
So by the same token, unless the pineapple totally fucking SpongeBob this whiskey all the way up, then it's probably still decent. I don't know if I'm ready to die on this hill, but I am going to say it. I think that is my opinion before tasting it.
There's no way. And we've, hold on, $139.99.
Oh, stop. Nope, that's too much for the privilege.
Kentucky only release. I hope they're testing it and they're not just, mad at the people of Kentucky for some reason.
I got love for Kentucky only picks. So being a adopted Louisvillian, as I profess to be, I can get behind that. Boop.
The pineapple whiskey. That's what the Kentuckians deserve.
In many cases, that is what we deserve. But my God, are they putting out 10 or 11-year-old whiskey in any other format?
I think they have in some of the, like the limited editions, like their collabs. I don't know. I would hope so. I would hope they didn't go, oh, it's time to release the hounds. Grab the pineapples. Doesn't make any sense.
I just had a vision of Steve Nally standing there outside of Bar's Birmingham going, release the pineapples, and that wasn't good. That's something I don't want to envision ever again.
So I just, And on the topic of finished whiskey, that's not finished whiskey. Finished whiskey.
That whiskey is definitely finished.
It's so
it's finished.
It's fucking done. No, but like when I think finished whiskey, at least to what I want to drink, is let's take good whiskey out of a barrel and put it in another one and see what happens. Not let's dump honey, maple syrup, fucking pineapples in it.
Yeah, all that makes me mad. Coffee is also on the list.
Flavored whiskey. That's I categorize that in the same place I do Jack Fire.
I mean, and look, I guess it's a Dennis Leary podcast, but like, stop putting shit in fucking whiskey. Every once in a while, there are some finishes that grab me the right way. New Riff Sherry Malted Rye, batch 1, was exceptional. I'm sure there's others that I can't think of right now because, well, we had a couple before we started. Oops. But there are other finished whiskeys that I do enjoy. Barrel Seagrass. I'm sure more examples will come to me the longer I fucking sit here. But there are things that are well done, and there are things that are not.
Yeah, and I consider myself a traditionalist when it comes to bourbon, but I also do enjoy finished whiskey more and more. But like you said, when you take a rye, put it in a sherry barrel, good things can happen. A lot of what people are doing with double oaking, which I categorize that as finished whiskey.
I don't.
Port barrel whiskey is the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. I've never found a good one. When it comes like,
can I get out of this frame for this conversation? Because holy shit,
the worst whiskey I've ever tried in my damn life.
Ooh, I know what it is. I'm
not gonna say what
I know,
but it was a port barrel finished whiskey, obviously, and a friend of mine, we were at.
He's not a friend of yours if he gave you that shit.
Not anymore. Actually, I don't think I've seen him since. But we were at Colorado Whiskey Fest. This was 3 years ago. And
which is
the one we met at.
I was going to say, that's where we met.
And it was end of the event. People are out tearing down tents. And if you've never worked one or been after hours at one, it's time now to trade bottles.
It devolves into a fucking shit show real quick. And I am always so here for it.
So you run booth to booth. One trade. And because you're always left with extra whiskey. That's just how it goes. And, a guy I've known just as an acquaintance in the industry for a long time, works for a brand that I'm not super fond about just to begin with. But I like the guy. Came over, want to trade? Yeah. And it was an equivalent trade, you would think. Yeah, okay, cool, I'm good with that trade. Didn't even really look at what it was. He gave me two for one. So he gave me 2 of his bottles for 1 of mine. Okay, cool. And it wasn't until weeks later I actually
tried it
at home.
Yeah, by yourself in the dark.
I think that was what, summer? I think it was like Christmas time. By the time I tried it, I was like, oh, port barrel whiskey? I haven't had one of those in a while. I've never liked one, but Christmas time, port barrel whiskey, let's go.
All I heard you say just now was, I haven't punched myself in the face in a little while, but it might be fun this time.
Yeah, it could have been sad, Sean.
I mean, I'm sad right now listening to you talk about port barrel whiskey because I know what distillery you're talking about. And honestly, here's a story for the people. A couple weeks ago, was it last weekend? I have no idea. I'm such a fucking waxhead. I was down in the Springs making the rounds when we were at Josh's house. So it was 2 weeks ago. And I went to another friend of ours' house and I drank some whiskey over there, and I drank a product from the same distillery that apparently is very good. And a couple days after that, one of the cats that was in the mix that night posted that bottle and said, "Hey, that's da 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 da, the best thing that I've had from da 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 da." And I said, "Okay, I can't wait to try it." He goes, "Dude, you tried it last weekend." And I said, "Yeah, not necessarily." So evidently I have had it, and evidently I had good things to say, but I intend to try it. Actually, after we leave here, I'm going there to partake in some additional foolishness, and I will definitely be in a better mindset to try it this time, and I believe it's good. Honestly, there's something in my pretty little brain that tells me, "Hey, dickhead, you did have this. It was good. Go get." So hopefully I'll have the opportunity.
Yeah. So one of your personalities has tried it.
Yeah. They call him. Well, I don't know what they call that guy, but he's definitely heavy oil. That's for fucking sure.
So the stats of this particular bottle, we can't give it away because that would give away everything, has what it needs to be good. So we'll see.
Which bottle?
The one that
Oh, yes.
No, not the port barrel. That
I was like, wait.
Anyways, let's finish
did you
that story.
Switch sides
it
on
was
me?
Dog shit and the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. Like I sipped it and I just started laughing. That was just laughed. And that's all I could do. And I don't even know what I did with it. I probably I think I showed up to a bottle share, brought something way better than I should have, just to justify also putting that on the table.
Was that Super Bowl?
No, this was this. I
know
might have done that in another sense.
I know you had good whiskey at Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I might have snuck some other stuff on the table. But I always bring better than I should if I'm going to also dump.
To finish the conversation about the cured oak, just to bring things full circle, because technically, I guess, no, I wouldn't consider cured oak finished whiskey, but just now that my glass is empty, I might as well bring the conversation back for a second, and that is, if you have the opportunity at 200 or less, buy it. Thank me later. If it's at its current secondary, which is about 325, 350, depending on where you are geographically, I don't know that I'd jump that high. And the reason why is, well, what can I get for $325 on the secondary market? And right now, there are some things that are superior to the cured oak as much as I do love it. So at 2 to 250, I think you trigger pull. Anything above that, I think you wait. But I am going to fuck this bottle up. Don't get it too confused.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. MSRP, I mean, run.
Walk. Not walk. Run.
But secondary, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think that's right. Speaking of MSRP and things that I'd like to buy at MSRP, Jason, my fucking glass is empty, and you know what I'm about to do with it.
Oh, what are you doing?
I'm going to go back to the fucking mix.
So we weren't planning to review anything more than cured oak, but we just pour whiskey and see what happens.
Right. Then we drank this shit, and I was like, well, guess what I'm going to do next? I'm going to drink it again. It just so happens we're talking to you fuckers at the same time we're talking to each other. And that's how this goes. And that's more of what we intended. There's no rating system that we talked about last time. All the bullshit that we talked about last time was just that in many, many cases. I understand the format was a little bit more structured because of the fact that we were doing a tournament style podcast and doing some things that were a little bit more, it's this and that, and it's that and this. This is probably a little closer to what we want to do with our time when we're holding these stupid fucking microphones in front of our faces.
Yeah, I mean the last week, if that's what we want to call it, is our first one. We didn't know. We still don't know. Like we said, we don't know what this is going to be. We still don't know. But I think this format, minus the patio, is more of what we want it to be. I think we ended up we just tried to put out a good product last week. And I think we didn't do what we wanted to do. So we talked about rating systems.
Yeah.
We're throwing that all out the window. Cured oak, final call. If you can get it less than $200, buy it.
Up.
If it's more than that, don't. That's our review. Yeah. And I think that's how we're going to do reviews going forward. And we're just going to drink whiskey and bullshit. And that's what this is going to be.
And if you like listening to people bullshit about whiskey while they're drinking whiskey, this might be for you. If you don't, find some of them fucking guys that are just putting a bottle on the table and let's see what we got here. Look at that color. I sound like I'm fucking narrating a goddamn golf tournament. Look at that beautiful color. Oh, and wait, it says on the back, it's 5 years old. Now, wait a minute. That's 60 months, Jason. Do you know how many months that's a lot of months. And wait. Oh, wow. This is Wheel Horse, and it was distilled in Kentucky. That's so unusual. Fucking. Never again, Jason. Never again. I don't care how many of these things we do. I don't care if we never do this again, or if we do it 100 billion fucking times. I don't care. We will never, and I repeat, never behave the way we behaved 2 weeks ago, or last week, or call it. It might as well have been fucking 20
we'll call
years
it last
ago.
Week, episode 1. Because, we didn't know what we're doing. We still don't. But we watched that episode, and I think we vomited on each other. We've recorded that.
It's hot.
And if we ever have a Patreon, maybe we'll put it out.
That's right. You'll know what it is. And you'll know why it is.
But yeah. So let me finish this cured oak so I can get into this Wheel Horse Barrel Master Select.
I almost put the Glen up to my mouth to start talking. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you about this whiskey is the first thing that I was trying to segue with is it's $39.99 a bottle. And that's an important thing to use when we're talking about judging whiskey, because ultimately at the end of the day, we could give you every fucking review in the world, right? We could tell you that bottle's the bee's knees, the cat's ass, and the cat's pajamas. It doesn't matter. If it's $1,000 a bottle, it doesn't matter what the fuck we say. You're not going to buy it. You're not. I'm not. But if it's $39.99, motherfucker, your ass better get to the liquor store and get one right now. And I think that's where I'm at with this.
Yeah, so this is Wheel Horse Barrel Master Select. This is just 12 hand-selected barrels. First thing Wheel Horse done in barrel proof, but 5 to 6 years old. But none of that really matters. What matters is it's $39.99, and
that I can't pick out what the fuck this nose is. That's what. Sorry, that probably isn't what you wanted me to say.
No, it isn't, but it tastes good. It's good whiskey. And if you can find if you can find barrel-proof whiskey at $40, like, good luck to begin with.
You buy it and say thank you.
Or you are very worried about what it's going to be. But
only always. And I think that, there's been some expressions over the years that have been young and have been good.
Mhm.
What do I say all the time? I trust New Riff to make my 4-year-old whiskey.
Yeah.
I do.
And this is 5 to 6 years old. So not young in the world of whiskey today, especially for a newer producer. But 6 years old that's a good place.
Sure, and to that same point, having met him, conversed with him, and understanding what his opinions are about whiskey, I also trust Stephen Corrigan to make some whiskey that's this old for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because Stephen's not going to put something out that he doesn't like. And he doesn't have to. And if you don't know who Stephen Corrigan is, he's the barrel master for Copper and Cask. And he also is the barrel master for Wheel Horse. So he's just started doing more with Wheel Horse as far as a barrel master select. He's overseen all the finishes. And the point isn't to get into that. The point is just to drink this particular one and tell you how good it is.
Sorry, I'm totally out of control. I am totally off the rocker now. It's fine.
We're not trying to get into the official.
Don't wipe my fucking chin.
We're not going to lecture anybody on Wheel Horse. We're just going to drink Barrel Master Select.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you drink what you like, and I poured it again because it tastes good. I also poured it again because I want to know what the fuck that note is on the nose, but I really believe that the prevailing factor of this whiskey is it does taste good. It has a fair amount of oil, viscosity wise, and it also it doesn't even drink 113. It is really super soft, and still gives you a little kick on the end. It gives you a little hug. It gives you a little juice on the finish. It doesn't go real long. I'm not going to oversell it, but it does the things that it needs to do. It checks a lot of boxes for me. I'm not surprised, but I am surprised how good it is compared to my expectation.
Yeah, and the whiskey that we've been drinking, which is to a certain caliber. I'm not saying this is punching anything in the face, but it's in the same ring.
I was gonna say it's punching in the same weight class. Honestly, as a couple 10 years that we've had today, one was the cured oak.
Yeah, and for $39.99, I would buy this all day, every day. And this is a good, just every day, don't think about it, pour a glass of whiskey. It has all the essential flavors you expect out of a Kentucky bourbon. Like Sean said, I mean, it's not life-changing, but for $40, I'd never pass on this.
I was actually trying to think. I think a good comp to that is another whiskey that I'm real excited about in 2026, and that was the Knob Creek Founders Edition, the batch one.
Yeah, we might open that up in a minute.
I think it's in the same conversation as that bottle of whiskey. Honestly, I think that the same thing that I bitched about regarding some whiskey, like some of the rarer allocated releases that they've shortchanged, in my opinion. There's been some positives of the Galetta whiskey and the Knob Creek Founders that's 10 years old for $45 or give or take. You don't get too much better than that.
Well, and that's the good part of the problem, because when you have more whiskey than you need, you try to get some things out early, like we talked about before, or you put out great whiskey for less money. And that's where I'm at. That's what I love. And I think that's what Knob Creek did with that.
I'm pretty sure everybody loves that.
We know some people.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I mean, that's great. And I know Wheel Horse was able to buy when whiskey was low, and they're able to put out good whiskey for under $40. Knob Creek. There's other ones out there that are releasing great whiskey because they have great whiskey and not jacking the price up. That's a good problem. That's a good part of the problem of having too much whiskey.
Yeah, I think so. And there was going to be some silver linings, right? And I think those are one of them. I was actually going to talk about the trip coming up, but I'm not going to do that. But there's another trip that I was thinking about taking that maybe you can shed some light on.
Okay. What's that?
I heard there's a camp that we can go to.
Oh, a summer camp? An adult summer camp, Sean? So, also in breaking news...
I can't believe I just segued that, for fuck's sake.
Very unobvious segue, too. But, so, Buffalo Trace is launching an adult summer camp. So, we are, obviously, love saying or not, we're whiskey people. Sean, do you want to go to an adult summer camp?
In the words of the great Shorzy, I have two words for you.
For what?
I really do believe that this is where we jump the fucking shark, Jason. This is it. This is the moment.
Yeah.
So please enlighten me.
Okay.
What the fuck do you get at Buffalo Trace adult summer camp?
So before I get into that, I've seen other people announce this. We're not actually breaking news.
I need whiskey.
Everybody seems really excited about this. Like, and if I was a no shame cheerleader for Buffalo Trace or anybody else, maybe I'd say I was too.
I was going to say, you had me at no shame.
But I'm not. Once they start paying me, maybe. Because I am a whore. But right now I'm not. And an adult summer camp sounds awful to me. And a whiskey-centric Buffalo Trace summer camp
sounds worse.
So, these are the fantastic things you get to do, Sean, when you go.
Please.
A whiskey woodcraft workshop.
Say that shit 5 times fast.
So you get to carve a custom muddler out of authentic white oak barrel staves.
What did you call me?
That's your new nickname.
A muddler? That's Sean. He's the muddler.
Oh, I was thinking more white oak.
Oh, thank you. I think that's... I don't know what to say about that.
But anyways, you also get to... There's a bung driving relay.
I can't believe this is happening.
You had one of those last Saturday.
I did.
Yeah, I thought so.
I drive my bung in a relay style every Saturday, I think.
Yeah. Blind tasting and trivia.
Now, tasting, yes. Trivia, okay.
Okay. Do we taste things blind? It's fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually like that.
You're going to pay thousands of dollars to pitch a air-conditioned luxury canvas tent on the distillery site of Buffalo Trace.
Seriously? What in the fire festival are you talking about?
Yes. You stay in an air-conditioned tent at Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. That is giving serious fire festival vibes. I don't know what to do with that.
Worse than that, How many women do you think are signing up for
0.
And not that I have anything against a guy's trip. Usually the best kind of trips. But I don't know, when I think camping,
I don't think of air-conditioned tents, and unless I'm with you fuckers, I certainly don't think about drinking whiskey.
Or snuggling up with just dudes.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean,
it's all weird.
I mean, not that we don't from time to time.
Yeah.
Depends on how much
whiskey we've had.
Real horse at $40 we have. Also, here are the perks. We'll get back to some of the activities.
I'm so glad you're taking me on this journey. I'm so glad.
But the perks. Furnish spaces with plush robes, slippers, and mini fridges stocked with sodas and waters.
I'm listening. You had me at robes.
Speaking of robes, do you want to get on a robe story or do you want to stick with this?
No, let's stick with that for now. Thank God.
So anyways, there's also a single barrel challenge.
It's pretty bad when I want to stick with Buffalo Trace Summer Camp over anything else to talk about. Wait, single barrel challenge.
Yeah. So this actually doesn't sound too bad. This would be a fun thing for, like, I don't know, beginners of whiskey, people that want to learn more about whiskey.
What about intermediates?
So you taste 3 identical bourbons aged to different years, and you try to identify the effects of maturation.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if that's for us, but I do believe it's interesting. I think that's a great experience. I think that if you were going to come up with an experience, you probably couldn't do too much worse than that.
No,
or sorry, too much better than that. I think it's a good concept. I'll co-sign that.
I added that particular experience on there because I agree. And I think that this summer camp isn't for us.
No.
But I do like that Buffalo Trace is reaching out to the community of whiskey and doing something for us, them, whatever you want to call it. And I think there's aspects to this camping trip that a lot of people are going to enjoy.
Here's the thing that I believe, regardless of anything else, that will save this concept. The people. Because why do I drink whiskey, Jason? Do I love bourbon whiskey like that? I mean, I do now, but is that how it started? No, it started with me with my fucking head on the bar at 18 years old, drinking Jack Daniels until I fucking puked and needed to never, ever drink whiskey again. But when I moved to Louisville, the city snapped me up pretty quick and got me back on that horse. But the reason why I got back on the horse was the people, the experiences, the opportunities, the fellowship. It wasn't the juice. The juice came second. It was the people first. And I think that is the one thing that I believe as an overarching narrative. We can talk all the shit we want, Jason, and we will. At the end of the day, I think that is my North Star, is that the people and the community and the camaraderie that might come out of this will make it way, I don't want to say worth it because you said thousands. But I
don't know. I did not look into the price.
I think that will make it a worthy thing to do.
Yeah, I have no idea what the price is. I did not look into that. I didn't put my name on the newsletter. So I have no idea. That was just a guess. But again, this is why I think this is a big part of why we do this, is the people. It's to find like-minded people that we enjoy hanging out with, and we can also drink bourbon with. All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're back.
Fucking dog. I mean,
yeah, my dog got involved. But anyways, Buffalo Trace Summer Camp, whiskey community. I mean, that's what we do this for, is the people. So I think the people that are going to go on this journey, That sounded very lame. But go on this journey, I think they're going to make great friends and have a good freaking time. I'm just not going to be one of them.
When you said journey, all I could think is I had flashbacks to like Aaron Rodgers and ayahuasca. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, I thought you were going to start singing.
No, but I'm gonna end it with this. So my 4-year-old had a talent show the other day at her school, and I thought it was super interesting that one of the songs that these 3 and 4-year-olds were singing was, in fact, "Separate Ways" by Journey. Yeah, they were getting it too. I was very impressed. But super interesting that what's old is new again. And I think that ties together well with what we've been talking about in regards to the whiskey, because what's old, the OG Cured Oak and 4 Grain and King Kentucky, is new again at 10 years old, at 12 years old, 20 proof less. Some of it's good, but man, let it sit, let your tape rock, get it right, and then release it. Don't shortchange me. Don't shortchange me, especially because those are premium bottles at premium prices. Don't shortchange the premium consumer. Are you listening to me, Brown Foreman? Buffalo Trace? Probably not. But even if they're not, don't shortchange the premium consumer.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. If you're going to make whiskey, make good whiskey. Well, I think that's a good place to call it. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, because we're going to sit here and get drunk now.
Yep.
We're going to drink the rest of that bottle of Wheel Horse.
Like and subscribe.
Yes, please. I'm glad you remembered, because I was totally going to forget.
We didn't do that last time.
No, we totally didn't. But please, like and subscribe my videos. I want you to like me.
Cheers.
Cheers.